All right, in this video, we are going to solve the following system. We have minus 3x plus y equals 2 and 12x minus 2y equals minus 8. So you can solve this system using either of the methods that we talked about, substitution or elimination. But just looking at this one, I can see that this variable has a coefficient of 1, right, which kind of sets up very nicely for substitution, whereas for elimination, you kind of would like that some of these are opposites, although you could do it with by elimination pretty easily as well. But I'm going to go ahead and work through this one by substitution. All right, so I'm going to pick one of the equations and pick a variable in that equation to solve for, and I am going to pick the first equation and I'm going to solve for y because it has a 1 right here, and that will make it pretty easy to do. All right, so starting with minus 3x plus y equals 2. All I need to do to solve for y is to add 3x to both sides. And when I do that, I get y equals 3x plus 2. Okay, and so now then what I am going to do is to substitute that into the other equation, the one that I didn't pick, in place of the variable y. So when you do that, right, because of the fact that there is a number out here, it's not just 1, a number other than 1, I'll make sure that I put that in parentheses, like so. So right where that y is, right, I'm going to take 3x plus 2 and substitute it right in there. So again, because there's a number other than 1, if this one were just plus y like this one, right, then you wouldn't have to worry about the parentheses. But because this is a minus 2, you do. And now it is important, right, that you go into the other equation, not the one that you picked. You might say, hey, well, wait a second. I could just plug this back in here. It'll be easier. But you don't want to do that because that will not lead you to the solution. It will basically what will happen is that all of the variables will drop out of the equation, and while not that's not mathematically incorrect or anything, it's not going to get you to where you want to go, right? So you got to make sure that you plug it into the other solution. Okay, so now then I just solved this like we've been doing in previous lessons. So I'm going to distribute this negative 2. So I get negative 6x minus 4. So I'm just simplifying both sides, right? And the right side is already simplified. Over here I have some like terms, so I can combine those. I have 12x's minus 6x's. It's going to give me positive 6x. Minus 4 equals minus 8. Okay, and then next up, now that each side is as simple as I can get it, I want to add and subtract from both sides to get every term with an x on one side and every term without the x on the other side. So over here I'll have 6x on the left side. Here I will have negative 4. And then divide both sides by 6. Right, on the left side I'll have just x. On the right side I'll have negative 4/6. And don't forget to reduce that, right? 4 and 6 are both even, so they're both divisible by 2. So 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 4 2 times, right? And so that will be minus 2/3. All right, so that's the x value, and then what you want to do is to take that and plug it in back into one of these equations for x, but it's easier if you plug it back into this one that you solved for because that's less work. You've already done the work on that one, so it'll be less work if you plug it back into that. All right, so plugging negative 2/3 back in for x into this equation, that's what I get. And then I need to multiply these fractions, and I can see that they both, the numerators and the denominators, have a factor of 3 in common, right? There's a factor of 3 here and a factor of 3 here. So I have a common factor between the top and the bottom. And so 3 goes into itself one time. And so on the top, I wind up with 1 times negative 2, which is negative 2. And then on the bottom, I have 1 times 1, which is just 1. So I'm not, negative 2 divided by 1 is negative 2. And then plus 2 here. And I wind up with a y of 0. Okay. So the final answer on this is that the solution of the system is negative 2/3 0.